और निश्चित रूप से इससे आम आदमी पार्टी के विस्तार में मदद मिलेगी।
तो जाएंगे केजरीवाल जी, जाएंगे
16 तारीख को जाएंगे।
तो अभी हमने बात की संजय सिंह से, मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है, ये सांसद है।
So process is the punishment is the point being made by the Aam Aadmi Party. They're saying that Arvind Kejriwal is being targeted because he named Prime Minister Narendra Modi and alleged certain corruption linked to his powerful friends. I want to bring in Abhishek Anand. Abhishek, we are told that Arvind Kejriwal is also consulting his legal team. What more do we know of his legal strategy right now?
Well, Gaurav, the entire statements of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders is going ballistic against Prime Minister Narendra Modi. For the very first time from this press conference room, the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are directly accusing Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi as a corrupt Prime Minister, and the money which they allege that has been used as a black money in, the business deals in the Adani infrastructure is the money of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this is the kind of statement which the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are making. This is for the very first time that all the party leaders are going on front foot and saying this. So there is an uneasy calm right now inside the party office.
Okay.
The party leaders are also consulting each other. The party claims that this is a strategy of the central government to arrest Arvind Kejriwal. Well, this is a big allegation, and the kind of cavalcade which we are going to witness on 16th when Kejriwal.
Give me a moment. I have Aam Aadmi Party leader Jasmine Shah joining me on the broadcast. Jasmine Shah, the BJP makes it very clear that there is a case, there is evidence, and Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned. Why is he displaying an elitist attitude according to the BJP and not appearing before, or hesitating or crying foul if he has to appear before the CBI, sir?
Well, there's a simple reason for this, because all the evidences, all the witnesses that ED has been using and CBI has been using so far in the case, all of them have been systematically proven to be fake. Absolutely fake case, absolutely fake witnesses, absolutely fake evidences. And they think that by calling Arvind Kejriwal, they'll be silencing him. Then I think this is nothing but a shameless and a cowardly attack on the opposition of India. It is no coincidence that Mr. Kejriwal today is the most vociferous voice against the Adani and Modi nexus that we are seeing playing out and weakening the country. And ever since Mr. Kejriwal has spoken openly about the link between Mr. Modi and Mr. Adani just a few days back, we are seeing something like this happen. It is unheard that a leader of this stature will be summoned like this in a fake case, but we are seeing this in broad daylight, and if they think they'll be able to silence Mr. Kejriwal by using this tactics, then you will see what will happen on 16th April as well as after that. Aam Aadmi Party,
give me a moment. Jasmine Shah, stay with me. Ashish Sood of the General Secretary of Delhi BJP also with me. Mr. Sood, respond to Jasmine Shah saying the case is fake. All the witnesses in this case are fake. This is an attempt to silence India's opposition.
Look, courts are not granting bail to Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia, and they are claiming it is fake. It is the battery of their to try to divert the issues. And look at the way Mr. Shah was saying, at the leader of this stature being called, a leader of with much more bigger stature, Narendra Modi was when he was the chief minister. 40 hours he was questioned. None of the BJP activists raised a voice. Was that not a process which was painful? We went through everything. We went across everything, but we did not question the moral authority of the constitutional bodies.
Okay, let me get Jasmine Shah. Let me get Jasmine Shah to respond to that. Jasmine Shah, the BJP says, why is Arvind Kejriwal so perturbed? When Prime Minister Narendra Modi was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was summoned for questioning. He appeared before questioning. That questioning, the BJP says, lasted 48 hours. He didn't cry foul the manner in which the Aam Aadmi Party is, sir.
Let me first say that Mr. Kejriwal is not perturbed at all. He is going to face CBI, ED. You can call anybody, any agency you can unleash on him. It will only strengthen his voice. And the reason And the reason to be alarmed is because we have seen what CBI and ED have turned weapons of masked opposition's destruction under the BJP. Even CBI and ED were compromised.
Okay, sir, one by one. Sir, let Mr. Shah, Mr. Sood, let Mr. Shah complete his point. I will come back to you to
Yes.
respond. Mr. Shah, go on, sir.
Yes, I'm only saying that we are seeing how ED and CBI are completely being abused. You summon opposition, and then you arrest these people. And then because you have strengthened, you made the ED law so strong, then you will keep these leaders under the jail. We are not worried. We will face the investigative agencies, but the country is watching today that this is nothing but democracy and dictatorship in the garb of a democracy.
Okay, you're saying this is dictatorship in the garb of democracy. Mr. Sood, you wanted to respond. Go on, sir.
Yes, look at the words. The ED laws are made so strong. Every common man in this country will be happy that there are laws strong enough to catch hold a corrupt person from the collar and take him, put him behind the bars. And look at the spokesperson, the person who is enjoying all the money from the constitution in the government is saying this. The laws are so strong. This is what I am saying, the elitist mindset. Laws should be strong, and we are proud that government has made the laws so strong that no corrupt, however biggest position he must be enjoying, will not be spared. Prime Minister in his speech at the Vigyan Bhavan addressing the CBI officials have said them, don't worry, we have the aspirational youth and the aspirational citizens of this country are looking at us with faith and aspiration to fight against the corruption. We are not let Aam Aadmi Party give any kind of allegations against Prime Minister. We are not
Mr. Shah,
afraid of that.
Okay, Mr. Shah, quickly want to understand from you, what is the Aam Aadmi Party's legal strategy? We are told Arvind Kejriwal is also consulting his legal team on his next course of action. What can you tell us about that, sir?
Official statement from the CM's office come out. So obviously, we will ensure that we will comply with law and pursue as the legal advice is. But let me remind my friend from BJP that this law and the word he is using that's been made so strong, you just look at the numbers. 3,000 raids under Mr. Modi, 23 only convictions, 0.5% conviction rate. It is a shameless figure for any investigative agency. It would have been shut down if this was in any self-respecting democracy. It is only under Mr. Modi that EDI has been turned into a weapon to only harass the opposition. You are never catching any corrupt. Your only point is to harass the opposition, put the leaders in jail. If you were serious, these conviction rates would be north of 50-70%. 0.5%. How do you explain
That's
that?
a grave charge. In fact, it's been leveled not just by the Aam Aadmi Party, also the Congress and other opposition parties, that CBI and ED are a tool to harass and silence the opposition parties.
These are charges by the corrupt politicians. In the raids by ED, CBI and other agencies in the last 9 years, 1,10,000 crores have been recovered, whereas their A-team Congress for last 10 years from 2004 to 14, only 4,000 crores were recovered. From where is this money coming? ED and CBI officials are taking this money in their pocket and placing it in the houses of these corrupt politicians. So they try to divert the discourse by saying there is no conviction rate. Look, in the ED matters, since the money trail has to be established, it takes time. They were the people who were shouting, "अरे सिसोदिया ने बदमाशी की है, केजरीवाल ने किया तो गिरफ्तार करो." जिसने किया होगा साहब, सबका नंबर आएगा. शाह साहब, जैस्मिन शाह साहब, सबका नंबर आएगा. And we have faith in the constitutional institutions of this country. We don't.
Give me a moment, Jasmine Shah and Mr. Sood, stay with me for a moment. I want to bring in India Today's reporters on ground also. And before I do that, why has Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal been summoned? India Today's team of reporters have been speaking to officials in the Central Bureau of Investigation. The information we have is the accused businessman, Dinesh Arora, has claimed that he met the Chief Minister at his residence. He's also claimed that Sanjay Singh was present during this meeting with Delhi Chief Minister. The Liquorgate accused claims he gave 82 lakh rupees for Aam Aadmi Party funds. That's a charge that the CBI wants clarity on. Excise department officials, incidentally, had said that the Liquorgate policy was changed at the Chief Minister's residence, at Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Excise department official also alleged that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal asked for liquor trader commission to be hiked from 5%, we are told, to 12%. Arvind Kejriwal is alleged to have used, or the Aam Aadmi Party is alleged to have used Liquorgate money to fund its campaign in Goa. These, of course, are the charges. The question remains, where is the evidence? And I want to come to India Today's Abhishek Anand and Amit Bharadwaj for more on this. The charges that are being leveled against Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, Abhishek, has Aam Aadmi Party responded to them on merit? Whether, it is, where was the liquor policy changed? Why was the liquor policy changed? Why was the commission hiked from 5% to 12%? Abhishek?
Well, Gaurav, the response of the party was not on these lines. The response was very aggressive. The response was a direct attack on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the statement made by the Kejriwal in the House, in the Assembly, accusing Narendra Modi and Adani for corruption. The party says that this was the problem with BJP, accusing the PM directly led to this kind of situation when CBI is calling state's chief minister for questioning. None of these were actually discussed inside the response. Yes, the party leaders say that the one-liner response, which is very clear that there has been no signature of whatsoever document of Arvind Kejriwal in the entire process. Point. He is not responsible.
That's a very interesting point to make. How do you pin anything? And I want to bring in Amit Bharadwaj to this. Yes. Yeah, I want to bring in Amit Bharadwaj for more on this. So all the points that have been made are in the form of allegation. CBI would need to have corroborative evidence. Of course, the Enforcement Directorate is carrying out a parallel investigation. But is there a response from the agencies on, if there is no signature of Arvind Kejriwal, is this not just hearsay that Arvind Kejriwal is believed to have said, Vijay Nair, apna bachcha hai, mera banda hai, jo keh raha hai wo kar do?
Well, Gaurav, these allegations have been labelled by the central investigative agencies about a FaceTime call which allegedly happened between the said businessman and Arvind Kejriwal. And, but one thing is very interesting, Gaurav, that we must discuss. I have seen the old excise policy and the new one as well. And the basic difference and what Aam Aadmi Party government sources have been pointing out in this particular case from day one is that, if you look at the two policies, the old policy and the new policy, in this policy, the upfront money for license allotment was increased by the government multi-fold. So initially, if the license fee was around a couple of lakhs, it was increased to multi-crores in the later stage. And that is why there could be an explanation or justification that which could be used in the later stage when the trial phase comes in. This was the only reason as to why the commission percentage was increased from, let's say, 5 plus 1% to 12%. So these could be, justification in the later stage when this investigation reaches the trial phase. That's when possibly Aam Aadmi Party's
but there again the point, and I want to bring in Jasmine Shah, who remains with us on the broadcast. The allegation that's being leveled by the opposition, by the BJP, is where are the files that show due process and deliberation? Jasmine Shah, you've heard and you've seen what's transpired in courts so far, what agencies have said, and you've also heard the BJP saying if the Aam Aadmi Party was clean, Manish Sisodia would have got bail. His bail has repeatedly been denied. How would you respond to that, sir?
See, the truth is very clear. All these stories, Rahul, we have been hearing exactly for the last 1 year. 5 to 12 percentage. इसको ये कर दिया, उसने ये कर दिया. For the last 1 year, thousands of officers from CBI and ED have tried to either establish the money trail, find a single rupee, or find a single evidence that proves any of these allegations. And they have failed to do that. In the last 1 year, they have failed to do that. In fact, many of the witnesses who had given some statements have now gone to the High Court and said that this was all under duress. Witnesses were slapped, third-degree torture was used to take out statements, and which later have been retracted.
Okay.
Even the phones that were damaged have now been found in the custody of CBI. So, this is so clear, open and shut, cooked up case that it doesn't need any rocket scientist to figure out what is happening here. This is plain and simple victimization of Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay, so you continue to, the Aam Aadmi Party, Ashish Sood continues to insist that this is victimization of Arvind Kejriwal. People have been coerced. Respond to their legal position, at least if that is what is articulated, that since the license fees was increased, profit margin was also increased from 5+1 to 12%. Does that cut ice?
Look, Mr. Shah was saying that there was no money, there is all hue and cry. He should remember one thing. When the PMLA is enforced, that means the money laundering case has been enforced. It has been established that there was money which has been laundered. So 34-page Rouse Avenue court order is also indicative of all these things. And now Mr. Shah can always come and say that courts are also intimidated and they are against Arvind Kejriwal and his people. But they talked about everything. They talked about LG embezzling 1,400 crores in KVIC. They have been alleging Adani and putting allegation against the Prime Minister in the Assembly. But have they ever discussed this excise gate in the Assembly? No. BJP MLAs, 8 of our MLAs, when they raise voice against this, they are thrown out of the Assembly by the marshals. They don't talk about this excise policy, excise ghotala, excise gate in the Assembly. If they have ever done it, you
clearly
please come out with the visuals.
The Manish Sisodia part of this case is in court. The CBI and the Enforcement Directorate both carrying out parallel investigations, and now the Chief Minister summoned at 11 a.m. on the 16th of April. We'll be tracking that story very closely. Ashish Sood, Jasmine Shah and India Today's crack team of reporters on ground joining me with this big story. Amit Bharadwaj and Abhishek Anand, many thanks for joining me. A quick break, back with lots more. Stay with us here on India Today.
As State of War Karnataka begins, a reminder, who is the true number one? The 5 big voices speak to us before all the others. From Chief Minister Bommai to Chief Challenger Siddaramaiah, from old warhorse Yadurappa to muscle man DK Shivakumar and Kingmaker Kumaraswamy. When it's Karnataka, there's no competition. India's #1 election channel.
2022 wasn't a great year for you health-wise. How was that phase for you?
It was a tough phase. Of course, I was unprepared. It came my way, and then you ask yourself why it happened. Then you question, oh, my habits were okay. I was leading a good life. Oh, I had COVID. That's why maybe, no, it shouldn't have happened. All these questions come to your mind, and they, why me? Oh, why God you did this to me? But you don't have anything else but to move forward. Okay, you have to move forward. But thankful to doctors and to Almighty that things were fine. तो सब कुछ ठीक हो गया और अब मैं अच्छे से काम कर रहा हूँ, अच्छे से लाइफ चल रही है और मज़ा आ रहा है. तो जो हो गया आई थिंक आपको आगे चलना चाहिए. अभी क्या, पर ये हो गया कि हॉस्पिटल में मैंने कुछ दोस्त बनाए नए वहाँ एडमिट रहते हुए.
I'm sure.
और कुछ बड़ा ही मज़ा आया. हॉस्पिटल में भी बड़े अच्छे एक्सपीरियंस थे.
कोई एक शेयर करिए.
मेरे को नींद नहीं आ रही थी एक दिन, वो मेरे को पेन हो रहा था मेरी सर्जरी के बाद. तो 1 घंटे बाद जब मेरे को हल्की सी नींद आने लगी, मैं बड़ी ट्राई कर रहा था, कुछ सेडेटिव भी लिया था शायद, मैं पेन में था तो मेरे को नींद आ रही. सर्जरी हुई थी तो वो स्टिचेस का पेन और सब होता है. तो वो मैं ऐसे सोया होता, मेरे को हाथ आता है, फोटो फैन फोटो. तो वो एक था कि रात को बड़ी देर बाद नींद आई थी. मैं ये पेन किलर. तो एक्चुअली उनका स्नेह है, प्यार ही है, पर वो ऐसी जगह पे आया. बड़ा अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस था. और मैं एक्चुअली वो अच्छा हुआ वो हुआ. क्योंकि मैं भूल ही गया कि मैं मरीज हूँ.
Co-powered by Max Life Insurance. You are the difference.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
You're watching Lights Camera Cricket, and the Eden Gardens is all set to host its second match in IPL 2023. The buoyant Kolkata Knight Riders take on Sunrisers Hyderabad, who managed to open their account in their previous match. Here's how the City of Joy is gearing up for tonight's game.
The hottest selling item outside Eden Gardens is no surprise the Kolkata Knight Riders jersey. Buoyed by the sensational win in their last game against Gujarat, expect the home fans to be in full voice on Friday. And the game against Gujarat was all about one man and one man only, and his name is Rinku Singh.
Zags again!
Rinku pulled off a knock for the ages, smashing 5 sixes off the last 5 balls of the game to take his side home.
That's extraordinary! I've never seen anything like this on a cricket ground. 5 sixes in a row.
Yet although Kolkata looks good on paper, their problems of a settled opening pair still persist. Gurbaz has had 3 different partners so far, and with Jason Roy and Liton Das joining the squad, it will be interesting to see if either of them get a place in the 11. The major concern, however, for Kolkata is Andre Russell, who has failed to fire in all games so far, and they will be hoping that the all-rounder gets back into the groove soon.
Rashid Khan has said yes, please.
I don't think Andre is underperforming. He played well in the first game, and then he had a couple of early wickets. Unluckily, I guess, in the last game. So I would say he's far from underperforming. We know what Dre can do, particularly here. That was my first season and experience of Andre, and Jesus, I've never seen a guy hit a ball like that. So nice to be on his team this year, actually.
Having lost the first 2 games, the Sunrisers Hyderabad also put in an impressive performance in their last game against Punjab, which they won courtesy of an unbeaten half-century by Rahul Tripathi. Tripathi, of course, is a former knight who knows the conditions very well and will be crucial for the Sunrisers.
It's always nice having someone in your team that has been a part of a team that you're going to play against. So we'll definitely use Rahul's experience and knowledge. We're happy as a team that we've got him in form. I think last year he showed great signs as well and did really well and played some really good match-winning knocks.
For Kolkata, on one hand, it was the spin trio of Varun, Narayan and Suyash Sharma who have outperformed RCB at home and picked up a combined 15 wickets for Kolkata so far. The Sunrisers have struggled especially against spin, losing 12 wickets, which is the second most behind the Delhi Capitals, and they also have the lowest strike rate and average against spin this season. The arrival of captain Aiden Markram and pacer Marco Jansen has given them a much-needed impetus. Markram supported Tripathi well with a 21-ball 37, while Jansen picked up 2 crucial wickets against Punjab. Both teams will now try to keep the winning momentum going, and the game promises to be a cracker.
Another mouth-watering battle, another thrilling match in Eden Gardens is waiting for KKR versus Sunrisers Hyderabad, and for the fans, as Eden is ready to fully cheer up for the teams, and they want that KKR should be a champion of this IPL season. With camera person Prashun Bose, this is Anirban Roy for India Today.
Let's now go straight to the Eden Gardens, where the crescendo is already building up. My colleague Anirban Roy caught up with a few fans just a short while back, and I think the biggest question that's on everyone's mind is, will Andre Russell finally come to the IPL party?
This is the match of KKR. This is the second game, and just before this match, Rinku Singh has done an amazing job. What do you think? What he will do in this match?
Yeah, he already hit 5 sixes in last match. So we are expecting in this match also. Yeah, it's super. It's awesome only.
How you were thinking that Aiden Markram, Sunrisers Hyderabad is having a good team, but KKR क्या लग रहा है? KKR इस मैच में और अच्छा कर पाएगा?
KKR इस मैच में और भी ज़्यादा अच्छा करेगा, और एंड्रू रसेल अभी परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा होगा उसका.
नहीं आज तो रसेल चलेगा ही चलेगा, कैसे भी देख लेना. 2 मैच में फ्लॉप हुआ है ना, अभी इस मैच में देख लीजिए.
150 की स्पीड में उधर उमरान है, इधर 90-100 की स्पीड में इधर वरुण चक्रवर्ती अपना कमाल कर देता है.
स्ट्राइक रेट में खेलने वाला रसेल भी है, रिंकू सिंह भी है, जिसका पिछला मैच आप लोगों ने देखा 350-400 के स्ट्राइक रेट से खेला है उन्होंने.
तो आप लोग क्या सोचते हैं?
धुलाई होगा, धुलाई हो जाएगी.
कौन धोएगा? रिंकू सिंह धोएगा, आंद्रे रसेल धोएगा, नीतीश राणा?
दोनों ही धोएंगे, रिंकू सिंह भी, रसेल भी.
As you see, the fans are fully prepared for the match between Sunrisers Hyderabad and KKR in Eden Gardens, and they are very confident about KKR and Rinku Singh, that they are hopeful that Rinku Singh will play a crucial role in this IPL, and may KKR lift the trophy in this IPL with the help of Rinku and the whole team. With camera person Prashun, this is Anirban for India Today, Kolkata.
That's all the time that we have on Lights Camera Cricket, but that game between Kolkata and Sunrisers Hyderabad is about to start, and if you are craving for some more cricket talk, then all you need to do is subscribe to our digital platform Sports Today. Just go on to YouTube or Facebook, subscribe, because every day before the game we are live for 45 minutes dissecting the game, also looking at what could be the playing combinations, playing 11, toss updates. For all of that, just come to Sports Today. We'll see you there. That's all the time.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's play.
state of war Karnataka begins. A reminder, who is the true number one? The 5 big voices speak to us before all the others. From Chief Minister Bommai to Chief Challenger Siddaramaiah. From old warhorse Yadurappa to muscleman DK Shivakumar and Kingmaker Kumaraswamy. When it's Karnataka, there's no competition. India's #1 election channel.
May 2022. A normal day that changed to an abnormal day. She was cut into 35 pieces.
उसने multiple weapons का use किया.
Up against a psychotic butcher and a web of savagery. Now her father fights to put pieces of justice together. This is the story of Shraddha and her father.
जब तक इसको फांसी नहीं होगी तब तक मैं इसका अंतिम संस्कार भी नहीं करूंगा.
My daughter Shraddha, coming soon.
India Today Group wins the prestigious Ramnath Goenka Excellence in Journalism Awards.
For the category of investigative reporting for 2019,
the winner in broadcast, Milan Sharma.
In the category of reporting on politics and government for 2019,
the winner in broadcast is Bipasha Mukherjee from India Today TV.
In the category of Hindi for 2019,
in broadcast, Ashutosh Mishra from Aaj Tak.
Shines bright with 5 awards. India Today Group, the gold standard in journalism.
So sorry.
बहुत बड़ा है ना तो, हाँ बहुत अकड़ है ना तोरे में. देख देख कैसे तोरा अकड़ निकालते हैं. जब तक पीएम बनेंगे नहीं तब तक पीछे हटेंगे नहीं.
Watching India Today.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, and we've got our top story which is coming today from Delhi, where the Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal now on the CBI radar after being summoned by the investigating agency. He has to appear before them on Sunday 11 a.m. April 16. So now the Aam Aadmi Party crying foul, claiming Kejriwal being targeted for questioning the Prime Minister. But remember, two of his aides, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is already in jail, and another key member, Satyendra Jain, has been in jail for the last 8 months. So now, will it be Mr. Kejriwal who's facing the long arm of the law? The big headlines. Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Kejriwal summoned by the CBI on April 16th in the liquor scam probe. AAP says action only after the party got national party tag. BJP claims the Delhi Chief Minister is a Liquorgate kingpin. Snubbed by the BJP, former Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister Lakshmi Sawadi resigns as MLC, gets a Congress ticket from Athani. Day after Asad's encounter, UP police FIR reveals that he was in touch with his father and gangster Atiq Ahmed in jail, and that Umesh Pal's murder was plotted in prison. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates the first AIIMS facility in the northeast in Guwahati, also takes part in the record-breaking Bihu celebrations. Bengal political showdown over Ram Navami escalates. Amit Shah now accuses the Mamata government of appeasement politics. TMC hits back, accuses the BJP of corruption. But our big story, the Aam Aadmi Party leader and Delhi Chief Minister now being summoned by the CBI in the Delhi excise policy scam. Let's go straight across to Delhi Education Minister Atishi, who's addressing the media.
एजेंसियों का इस्तेमाल करती है डराने के लिए, धमकाने के लिए। जो भी उनके खिलाफ आवाज उठाएगा, उसको डराने की कोशिश की जाएगी। जिस दिन से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के शीर्ष नेता और भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के भ्रष्टाचार का खुलासा किया है, उस दिन से ये तय था कि अब अगला टारगेट अरविंद केजरीवाल जी होने वाले हैं। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने बेबाकी के साथ दिल्ली की विधानसभा के पटल पर नरेंद्र मोदी जी और उनके खास दोस्त, जिनकी कंपनियों में देश के लोगों का हजारों करोड़ का पैसा डूब गया, जिनकी कंपनियों में मॉरिशस के एक पते से 6 कंपनियों ने, शेल कंपनियों ने हजारों करोड़ का निवेश किया, वो कंपनियां जिन्होंने LIC का 50,000 करोड़ रुपया डुबा दिया, लेकिन आज तक भ्रष्टाचार की जांच नहीं हुई। इस सारे भ्रष्टाचार में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का क्या हाथ है, वो दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने एक्सपोज कर दिया। जिस दिन से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का भ्रष्टाचार अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने एक्सपोज किया है, उस दिन से ये तय था कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी उनके अगले टारगेट होने वाले हैं। लेकिन मैं आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी को और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को ये कहना चाहती हूं कि आम आदमी पार्टी, हमारे नेता अरविंद केजरीवाल, हमारे पार्टी का एक एक विधायक, एक एक कार्यकर्ता आपकी धमकियों से डरने वाला नहीं है। आम आदमी पार्टी का जन्म एक भ्रष्टाचार विरोधी आंदोलन से हुआ है। हमारा जन्म ही इस देश के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ने के लिए हुआ है। आप चाहे हमें CBI का नोटिस दो, आप चाहे हमें ED का नोटिस दो, आप चाहे हमें जेल में डाल दो, आप चाहे हमें फांसी पे टांग दो, लेकिन हम देश की जनता के लिए लड़ते रहेंगे, हम भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ते रहेंगे और आखिरी दम तक, जब तक आम आदमी पार्टी के एक एक नेता में, एक एक कार्यकर्ता में आखिरी सांस तक भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ने का दम है, भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ने का जिगरा है, हम आपकी ईडी और सीबीआई की धमकियों से डरने वाले नहीं हैं। धन्यवाद।
There you have a statement made by the Aam Aadmi Party Minister, Atishi, Education Minister here in the Delhi government, saying that the Aam Aadmi Party will not buckle against what they call intimidatory tactics of the Modi government through the ED and the CBI. But the truth is, trouble is mounting for the Aam Aadmi Party in this case. AAP convener and Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Kejriwal being summoned for questioning by the CBI. Kejriwal being asked to appear before the agency on 16th of April at 11 a.m. Remember, Manish Sisodia has been arrested by the CBI and then the ED in the same case. Former Minister Satyendra Jain is also in jail in a money laundering case. Now, the charge is that the accused Dinesh Arora and Samir Mahendru have reportedly claimed that the controversial liquor policy was drafted at Kejriwal's residence and he had asked for a hike in the Traders Commission. Sisodia also allegedly met an Excise Department official at the Chief Minister's residence. Kejriwal is also accused of vouching for accused Vijay Nair on a video call. Vijay Nair is in jail for the last several months in the same case. The AAP has alleged that Mr. Kejriwal will be jailed on Sunday, adding that AAP is being targeted for questioning the Prime Minister and action against corruption.
देश के सामने आपके काले कारनामों को उजागर करने का काम अरविंद जी ने जिसकी शुरुआत दिल्ली की विधानसभा से की है, वो जारी रहेगी, रुकेगी नहीं। पूरे देश में वो अभियान जारी रहेगा। 16 तारीख को अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करने की, अरविंद केजरीवाल को जेल में डालने की, अरविंद केजरीवाल के खिलाफ ये बड़ी कार्रवाई करने की जो साजिश आपने रची है, इस साजिश से, इस कार्रवाई से, इस अभियान से अरविंद केजरीवाल की आवाज रुकने वाली नहीं है। ये देश के एक एक घर में आवाज पहुंचेगी।
उनके तमाम अपराध हैं और जहां जहां उनके ऊपर आरोप और केस है, वो एक कानूनी प्रक्रिया वो चलती रहेगी।
अरविंद केजरीवाल का कोई बुलाया जाना सीबीआई को मुझे कोई आश्चर्यजनक नहीं है। ऐसा मुझे लगता था कि एक दिन ज़रूर होगा और ये दिल्ली की जनता की बहुत बड़ी जीत है। दिल्ली की जनता के ऊपर में जो एक अपना विश्वासघात हो रहा था, उनके अपना विश्वास के ऊपर में डाका डाला गया था, ये उनकी बहुत बड़ी जीत है और मैं दिल्ली की जनता को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ।
More details. Munish Pandey, who tracks the CBI and ED for us, is joining us live from the national capital. Munish, what do we know that the CBI wants to question Arvind Kejriwal specifically about? What is it specifically that they want to question him about?
Well, Rajiv, there are 4 main allegations against Arvind Kejriwal as far as this entire excise policy scam case is concerned. Number 1 is that Arvind Kejriwal had a telephonic conversation with one of the accused, Samir Mahendru, over a video FaceTime call. And in that conversation, Arvind Kejriwal told Samir Mahendru that Vijay Nair is my boy, you can trust him completely. Vijay Nair is why important because Rajdeep Vijay Nair, according to the Central Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, he was the person who at a time when he was communication in charge of Aam Aadmi Party, was also coordinating with the liquor businessman, and he received a bribe of 100 crore rupees from the South cartel. That is allegation number 1. The second allegation is that Arvind Kejriwal met a member of parliament from the Andhra Pradesh, and that meeting was basically Arvind Kejriwal wanted to welcome that particular member of parliament to do business under the new excise policy. Apart from that, there is a statement by Dinesh Arora, one of the approvers in the case, who has said that Arvind Kejriwal had met him regarding the excise policy. The fourth and most important is a key witness in the case who is the former excise department officer. He was then heading the excise department, and he has said in his statement to the Central Bureau of Investigation that there was a meeting at Arvind Kejriwal's residence, and the final draft copy was given to him by Manish Sisodia in presence of Kejriwal, and that policy was implemented later in the national capital. So these are the four main allegations against Arvind Kejriwal.
But Manish, you mentioned 100 crore bribe. What about the money trail? Is there any evidence that they have found any money trail at all so far?
That is the point, Rajdeep, I was mentioning earlier, that there is a money trail of 100 crore rupees, but that money trail is only limited to Vijay Nair. Now, what the Enforcement Directorate and Central Bureau of Investigation have been alleging that this 100 crore rupees traveled from the South Cartel, reached Vijay Nair through Dinesh Arora, and later this money, a part of this money was used in Goa elections. But as far as concrete evidence is concerned, is there any money trail linking Arvind Kejriwal to this 100 crore rupees of bribery? There is absolutely no evidence that 100 crore rupees was, exchanged by Arvind Kejriwal. There is absolutely no evidence regarding that.
Right.
But even in that case, you see Manish Sisodia, there were similar allegations against Manish Sisodia. There was no money trail linking Manish Sisodia to the bribe money, but still he was arrested because the Central Bureau of Investigation alleged that he was part of the conspiracy. He was the main conspirator, and that is why his arresting was made. As far as Enforcement Directorate is concerned, what they have been claiming so far, that it doesn't matter that whether the money has exchanged the hands or not, but if you are part of the entire money laundering, then you can be arrested. And as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned, there is no evidence that Arvind Kejriwal has received any money directly or not, but what the Central Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement Directorate are alleging that he was part
Right.
of the conspiracy, and why they are alleging that he spoke to some of the accused in the case.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Munish, for more. You are getting lots of details. Joining us now, Shantanu Sen, former Joint Director CBI, Maninder Singh Sirsa is spokesperson BJP, Priyanka Kakkar is spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Appreciate all of you joining us at this moment. Let's come to each of you one by one. Priyanka Kakkar, you want to respond to what you heard from Munish. He says that the CBI is claiming that 100 crore bribe was paid to Vijay Nair, who was heading your communications very close to Mr. Kejriwal, by the so-called South lobby of liquor distillers, and that money went into election campaigns. Now, we're not sure about the money trail, but the claim is that some of the South liquor distillers have apparently claimed that they paid this bribe to Mr. Vijay Nair, and that's where Mr. Kejriwal also comes in.
Good evening, Rajdeepji. Good evening to you and all your viewers. Rajdeepji, I'm very grateful to Munishji, where he very categorically stated that not an iota of evidence has been found, no money trail against Arvind Kejriwalji. And let me tell you that the BJP has shot itself in its foot by doing this. It's, even Vijay Nair who got a bail in the CBI case and subsequently was arrested by the ED, no evidence found against him, has again petitioned the High Court saying that it is a case motivated by political vendetta, which case is now listed on 19th of May. One thing. Now, it is shocking and appalling to me that Sirsa ji from the BJP is sitting here, and in fact, CBI was after him, questioning his money trail in the Gullak Chori matter, and the case went absolutely silent. CBI only has a track record of 3.96% when it comes to cases of corruption. We will not add cases of murder, we will not add cases of kidnapping, we will not add cases of theft in this. Now, the problem is that in today's time, I have no qualms in saying this, that Arvind Kejriwal ji is the only true contender, and Modi ji is absolutely scared of Arvind Kejriwal ji, more so after he highlighted his nexus with Adani and demanded for a JPC.
Okay.
This is the problem.
That nexus with Adani, let's be clear, was also highlighted earlier by Rahul Gandhi. But Maninder Singh Sirsa, you want to respond to what Mr. Sirsa, you're hearing from the AAP spokesperson. Their claim is that Arvind Kejriwal is being targeted because he has taken on the Modi government over these years. How do you respond? As of now, according to our correspondent, the money trail linking Mr. Kejriwal has not been found. So it is basically on the fact that people around him have been arrested.
Rajdeep,
That they have been wrongly arrested.
you know very well that if somebody is taking a bribe, do you believe that he'll keep that money at his residence knowingly that the case has been registered and the ED will be raiding any soon and he'll be keeping that money in his locker? Do you believe this argument, first of all? Secondly, there are 2-3 very simple things which I don't understand that Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson will be able to answer any of these questions. What made Arvind Kejriwal to pass a policy and give 12% of profit to the private players, a liquor persons who are close friends of Arvind Kejriwal, and just rising from 2% to 12%? And mind one thing, this business was not given in any auction or by the way of any kind of a lottery, but it was the wholesale business to those people who are wholesalers here, who has given 100 crore in advance, were given just on the basis of that they are wholesalers and we want to give them a business, first of all. Secondly, it is none other than Dinesh Arora, who is a close associate of Arvind Kejriwal, whom Arvind Kejriwal used to visit on his birthday, uske bachon ke birthday pe bhi, he used to stay there and have a lot of pictures on social media posting between Arvind Kejriwal and Dinesh Arora. But suddenly, when this liquor gate opened, those all pictures get vanished. Though I have posted on my Twitter handle and other social media, you can find out that what was the reason to delete that pictures if Arvind Kejriwal was not involved in this case. Thirdly, this policy was drafted by a group of ministers. Those 3 ministers was Manish Sisodia, Satinder Jain and Mr. Gehlot. And this group of ministers was constituted by Arvind Kejriwal ji. There is a one CM in this country who is elected CM under the constitution but signs no paper. Why? Because he knew the money which I am taking, maybe it in a liquor scam, in a bus scam, in a school scam or in a power scam, he knew that one day I will be caught for this. And that is the only reason that he has not been signing on files.
No, Mr. Sirsa, I want to understand. Is your...
Because only one person is there who can face Modi. Arey bhai, court is there na. Arvind Kejriwal ji, I must ask him, Manish Sisodia is behind bars from last 2 months. His close friends are behind 7 months. Why court is not listening to them if there is no evidence? Why don't they move to the court and tell them, dekhiye ji, koi evidence hi nahi hai? Because there is a credible evidence that how they have manipulated this policy. In fact, the mails which were seen ki ji public opinion, that the public opinion was taken by their own people sending emails to Manish Sisodia. This policy was drafted by none other than the close friend of Arvind Kejriwal, who are a liquor gate, who are those people who had made this money, tons of money from this liquor, and that mafia has created this policy and given this to Manish Sisodia, and Manish Sisodia ji simply passed this policy saying कि अब इन लोगों को 12% प्रॉफिट देना चाहिए जी, ये प्राइवेट लोगों को बहुत सारा पैसा कमा के देना चाहिए जी दिल्ली से. एंड अगर ये पॉलिसी अच्छी थी, बहुत अच्छी थी, what forced you to withdraw this policy? Tell me one reason. Why did you withdraw this policy? Because जब आपकी करप्शन पकड़ी गई, चोरी पकड़ी गई, तो आप दौड़ गए, आप भाग गए. अब ये मैडम यहाँ पर कह रही थी मेरे पे सीबीआई का मुकदमा है. मैडम जी मुझे बता देना कब वो सीबीआई का मुकदमा मेरे पे दर्ज हुआ था, मुझे जानकारी जरूर दे देना. धन्यवाद.
Okay, you made your point, Mr. Sirsa. Before I go to Shantanu Sen, Ms. Kakkar, you are putting up something on the screen. What is it that you are trying to show us?
I was telling you that BJP is
No, you had put up something on the screen. What was that?
I put up BJP is equal to low IQ duffers. That is what I put up. Because even if I tell them right now that the policy that was withdrawn in Delhi, the same policy is implemented in Punjab and earned a revenue of 41.4 crore surplus within the first 6 months of its implementation. And here it was withdrawn because the LG objected to certain made certain new conditions right before its implementation when we had taken the money from vendors, and those conditions could not be implemented one day before it was to be implemented. He will not understand it. Therefore, I had to say they're a party of low IQ duffers.
You see let's not.
Priyanka ji, I must tell you, the same guy, Mr. Dhal, he's the same guy who was given business in Punjab also.
I heard him.
Priyanka ji, I must apprise you of the fact that this is the same Mr. Amandeep Singh Dhal. The same Mr. Amandeep Singh Dhal has been given business in Punjab also.
Okay, producer, both the volumes down. I want to bring in Shantanu Sen. Shantanu Sen, this is a case where policy is also being questioned. Now, is that enough to nail a chief minister of a state unless you are able to prove money trail, the fact that Mr. Kejriwal benefited monetarily? How, or can you go by evidence, alleged evidence provided by some of the witnesses or some of the other accused? How easy or difficult is this case for the CBI?
Rajdeep, as of today, as of now, a summons under Section 160 of the Criminal Procedure Code 1973 has been served on the Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. If you read that summons and you read the procedural code, it says that any police officer investigating any case can summon anybody who is acquainted with the facts and circumstances of the case to depose before him. Now, everybody should admit that this liquor case which is under investigation, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, as the Chief Minister of Delhi, would know facts and circumstances of the case. So this is a summons to him to explain the facts and circumstances of the case. Now, it is also known that any summons to a witness can become also his arrest warrant if it is found during examination of the witness or from other facts collected during investigation that this witness is a part of the conspiracy. We have spokesmen here who are assuming that CBI has found a lot of material to link him with the liquor scam. And we have spokesmen here who say he has nothing to do with the liquor scam. And we have a report from your own correspondent that there is no evidence of money trail. So all the discussion which is going on is a bit of off tangent. We have to be calm and dispassionate. CBI has been directed by the government to investigate the liquor scam as the powers now vest with the government to direct such investigations. They were not there before. And CBI is doing an investigation, and CBI will do all that is necessary to get to the bottom of the allegations.
What you are saying, summons does not necessarily mean arrest. A summons of this kind does not necessarily mean arrest. Mr. Kakkar, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party is already threatening that Arvind Kejriwal will be arrested on Sunday itself. It seems you are trying to whip up a sense of hysteria, sympathy, suggesting that this is vendetta. At the end of the day, you can go to a court of law and claim that the CBI ED is being misused. Give examples in your own case, and maybe the court will look at it.
Rajdeepji, already there's a matter pending which talks about ED director being given extension after extension unconstitutionally. You are very well aware of it. The matter is already pending before the Honorable Supreme Court of India, and it will take whatever time it takes, and there will be a decision. You will see that the amicus also said that the extension hits the integrity of the ED per se. One thing, Rajdeepji. Secondly, Rajdeepji, please let's apply our mind here. A person who is able to give free electricity, free water, free shiksha, free swasthya seva, free buzurgo ko tirth yatra, free travel to women, free bus marshals in the bus to report any untoward incident, CCTV at the Darj of Paris, street lights, and provides so many facilities, and has been niyukted thrice as the most popular CM in Delhi, and presents a surplus budget. And where is the corruption? It cannot be so.
None of this can be. Corruption has nothing to do with providing free electricity and the other benefits that you're talking about. You're going to have to show me, you're going to have to provide me concrete evidence to show that this entire liquor gate has been trumped up and a scam has been created, manufactured by the government. As of now, it's the CBI seems to be moving in a very systematic manner. They've also interrogated the daughter of the Telangana Chief Minister and alleged a link between Telangana and Delhi. Mr. Sirsa, while the Aam Aadmi Party will have much to answer for, you will also have, you see, you are also playing a perception game. At the moment, as of now, you're going to have to prove somewhere Arvind Kejriwal's direct involvement in this. Merely because he's the Chief Minister of Delhi does not make him a criminal.
No, nobody said that it makes him a criminal. The only thing is, if you are a Chief Minister of a state, you constitute a body, a group of ministers under whom the policy has to be drafted. Your close side comes out and say, Dinesh Arora, कि मैंने लिख करके लोगों को अरविंद केजरीवाल जी घर पर मीटिंग कराई थी. He is the one who was collecting money on his behalf. The pictures with Dinesh Arora and Arvind Kejriwal on social media, suddenly that winds out, घूम हो जाती हैं social media से. Arvind Kejriwal had never said that मैं दिनेश अरोड़ा को नहीं जानता. Arvind Kejriwal never said कि 2% से 12% commission मेरी जानकारी में नहीं बढ़ाई गई.
Knowing Mr. Arora is not a crime.
Two, three things
No, knowing Mr. Arora is not a crime.
No, I never said it's a crime. But knowing somebody who's collecting money on the behalf of government is a crime. Rajdeep, knowing somebody who's collecting money on the behalf of government is crime. And this is, I'm not saying this, this is Dinesh Arora is saying that I have collected this sum of money.
He's right. Let him leave Dinesh Arora's statement. Let him read Dinesh Arora's statement.
This amount of transferred to Gujarat and this amount was given to Manish Sisodia ji at his residence. Please, Priyanka ji, please let me put up. आप इतना frustrated ना हो. ये मैं समझ रहा हूँ आज आपकी problem. अब मनीष सिसोदिया जी के बाद इनका बारी आएगी तो आपकी problem होगी. मैं आपकी भावनाओं से कदर करता हूँ. आज आप पे बहुत बड़ी विपदा है. ये मैं समझ सकता हूँ कि आप जेल में जाने के लिए जब भी कोई आदमी की प्रॉब्लम आती है वो तंग होता है. अब मैं मानता हूँ आपकी प्रॉब्लम बहुत बड़ी है. आज मैं समझ सकता हूँ. करप्शन पकड़ी जाए, पैसे पकड़े जाए तो आदमी बुखलाता है. पर मैं आपसे बड़े अदब से आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ.
Priyanka, please, Priyanka, you cannot shout him down. Nor can he shout you down. He hasn't interfered with you. But hold on, Mr. Sirsa. You see, the problem here is, as of today, there are people, specific individuals who've been arrested. Now, we need to know what exactly is the link between those individuals and Mr. Kejriwal in terms of the Delhi liquor policy. Even let us assume for a moment that they were taken by the likes of Dinesh Arora and introduced to the Chief Minister. That does not necessarily mean that the Chief Minister is involved and in the crime per se. There are many who believe that the policy was a good policy. There was a need to revise the old policy. Many people, many other states are also implementing this policy.
So, Rajdeep ji, the question is not about the policy. So, Rajdeep ji, may I explain you?
Priyanka ji, let him now speak.
The question is for me. May I allow you? And please tell Priyanka ji, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I humbly request Priyanka ji. Now, very important question you raised out. The thing is that nobody is saying that policy shouldn't be there. Policy has to be there. But what forced Arvind Kejriwal ji to rise from 2%, increase 12% of profit margin for our private person. एक प्राइवेट शराब का आदमी जिसको काम ऑक्शन में नहीं मिलेगा. राजदीप जी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग यू नीड टू नो हियर इज, ये जो लोगों के पकड़े गए हैं 12% वाले, इनको ऑक्शन में काम नहीं मिला, इनको लॉटरी से भी नहीं मिला, इनको अपनी पावर से मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने अपनी कलम से काम दिया है कि होलसेल का काम मैं इनको दूंगा. सो जिनको अपनी मर्जी से काम दिया गया उनको 12% प्रॉफिट तय किया गया. अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के नजदीकी दो अमनदीप सिंह ढल जो दिल्ली में 12% कमीशन पे काम कर रहे थे, उनको अचानक पंजाब में भी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की गवर्नमेंट आने पे पंजाब में भी काम उन्हीं को मिल गया. पहले दिल्ली में पॉलिसी वो विड्रॉ की, अब पंजाब में भी उस पॉलिसी के पीछे हट गए. अब बड़ी बात यह है, दिनेश अरोड़ा को उनका मिलना कोई पाप नहीं है, पर दिनेश अरोड़ा जो पैसे कलेक्ट कर रहा था आम आदमी की पार्टी के ब्याह पे, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को सफाई देके बताना चाहिए क्यों वो दिनेश अरोड़ा को मिलते थे जिसने 100 करोड़ रुपया साउथ की लॉबी से कलेक्ट किया ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ आम आदमी पार्टी एंड फॉर द.
Okay, one minute, Priyanka Kakkar, let me ask the questions, please.
एक सरकारी बंगले में कैसे रह सकते हैं? राजदीप जी, can I ask you a simple thing?
Yes.
राजदीप जी, मिस्टर विजय नायर एक सरकारी बंगले में, मिस्टर गहलोत के बंगले में कैसे रह सकते हैं? वो इतना बड़ा आदमी इतना कैसे हो सकता है कि सरकारी बंगले में जाकर रहे और वो पैसे इकट्ठे कर रहे हैं, और आज ये कह रहे हैं हमें पता ही नहीं विजय नायर कौन है.
नहीं, उन्होंने ये नहीं, सिरसा जी उन्होंने कभी नहीं कहा कि विजय नायर कौन है. बट Priyanka Kakkar, there are two ways of doing this. You can brazen it out by sort of shouting down the other side.
बताएं फिर उनको क्यों रखा था?
Why not?
अगर उन्होंने कहा तो आप बता दीजिए.
So far,
क्यों सरकारी बंगला दिया जाएगा विजय नायर को? You tell me a single reason that Vijay Nair should be given a government accommodation and that to a ministerial bangla is not involved in this.
Tell me one reason. Their muddas have been what clothes to wear, what time to come back home, what color belongs to whom. This is a duffer party who doesn't understand that we do not have any share in the sales of liquor.
Okay, producer, both volume down. Mr. Shantanu Sen again. You see, you're hearing these contrary views, Mr. Sen. This matter, there will be presumably, and it has happened with Mr. Sisodia, he's gone repeatedly to the court. They haven't granted him bail yet. Do you believe that the court itself will have to, I mean, the very fact that the court seems reluctant at the moment to grant Mr. Sisodia bail, I'm talking the CBI case, not just the ED case, what does that suggest? Is a prima facie case been built up?
Rajdeep, during investigation, the investigating officers are king. Whatever they want, they will get from the court. That is for the first 3 months of the case. That is the provision of law. They have been allowed to register an FIR. The FIR has not been quashed. Now, why should the court not aid them fully? If they want to summon somebody, surely. If they want to arrest somebody, go ahead. If you want to retain him in custody, go ahead. The court really comes, in our Indian jurisprudence, the court comes into action when the charge sheet is filed and when the trial concludes. There you get the evidence and there you find out who is guilty or not. We have so many cases of people remaining in jail for years.
Yes,
and then being thrown out.
But with due regard, sir, we've seen in some of these cases, now most recently in the Sanjay Raut case, the court passed very strong strictures against the manner in which the arrests had taken place. So there is, Priyanka Kakkar, wouldn't you be better off waiting to see what happens on Sunday, waiting to see if Mr. Arvind Kejriwal actually is arrested, without already claiming कि नहीं ये सब साजिश है, Arvind Kejriwal को पकड़ा जाएगा? Why not wait to see what really the CBI, if at all, has anything against Mr. Kejriwal?
Rajdeep ji, we have complied with all investigations. We had to go to court to prove ourselves clean. 165 cases on us, 134 acquitted. No evidence. This is yet another one. You want to be fair? Set up a JPC on Adani. Show us whose money was invested from the offshore companies into Adani companies. Why are you running away from it? Why are you running away from... You said Comrade Sagma is corrupt on 18th February 2023. On 2nd March, you gave him your support. Why is there no investigation on Comrade Sagma? Why is there no investigation on Hemant Biswa Sarma, where you alleged, you published a booklet and alleged that somebody was paying him 20 lakh rupees a month. You did not file a charge sheet in CBI. You have controlled the CBI because there is already a stay operating on the existence of CBI. You are manipulating and instructing the officials to harass us. They also have no say. I don't blame the CBI and the ED. I blame them squarely. I blame these people squarely who are controlling them, who are telling them how to harass us. They have no option but to comply with their masters. Why is there no investigation on them if this is a fair country, if the laws are equal for everyone?
Let Mr. Sirsa answer this. Mr. Sirsa, you see, all of this is coming, and this is similar to what the Congress, other opposition parties say. There is absolutely no effort being made to look at and investigate possible collusion between the government of the day and Gautam Adani, is what the opposition says. That we don't see the ED operate at all in Karnataka, which is BJP ruled, or Madhya Pradesh, which is BJP ruled. That you are using these agencies to fix the your opponents, the latest being Mr. Kejriwal. You will have to, rather than also come on TV and claim that Mr. Kejriwal is deeply involved in it, wait for the CBI investigation to complete. Then you will have more credibility. Otherwise, the opposition will say, you're just using this case to target your opponents.
Rajdeep, I do not know how could this Priyanka Kakkar come on the national channel and say that this is a vendetta politics. The Lalu Prasad Yadav, जिनको आप कहते थे देश का सबसे बड़ा करप्ट आदमी, आजकल उसको गले लगाते हैं, सीबीआई उसके घर जाती है तो आप कहते हैं नहीं ये तो बहुत ईमानदार आदमी है. जिनके मुलायम सिंह यादव जिनको आप करप्ट कहते थे, जब सीबीआई उनके घर जाती है तो आप कहते हैं वो तो ईमानदार आदमी है. अब बताइए, जितने करप्ट आदमी थे जिनकी लिस्ट लेके अरविंद केजरीवाल बाजार में घूमते थे, आजकल जब उनके पास सीबीआई जाती है तो दूध दुले हो गए। हमारा क्या कसूर है? आपने अपनी सोच को बदल दिया, चोरों को आप समझ नहीं आने लगे, करप्ट लोगों को गले लगा दिया, तो मेरा क्या कसूर है? बताएं, सीबीआई ने तो नहीं बदला ना, आपने अपना स्टैंड बदल लिया। प्रियंका कक्कड़ जी ने, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने स्टैंड बदल लिया। जिनको वो बेईमान और कट्टर बेईमान कहते थे, आजकल वो कहते हैं जी कि लालू प्रसाद जी से ईमानदार आदमी देश में कोई नहीं है। आजकल वो कहते हैं शरद पवार जी से ईमानदार आदमी देश में पैदा ही नहीं हो सकता। अब वो कहते हैं जी यादव परिवार से ईमानदार लोग होते ही नहीं है, कभी दुनिया में देखे ही नहीं गए इससे पहले ईमानदार लोग। तो हमारा क्या कसूर है? राजनीति। एंड सेकेंडली मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग हियर इज, प्लीज टेल प्रियंका कक्कड़ टू स्टॉप शाउटिंग। अब देश को पता चल गया आप बेईमान पार्टी की स्पोक्सपर्सन है। प्रियंका जी, देश को पता चल गया कि आप बेईमान पार्टी की स्पोक्सपर्सन है। अब आपको ज्यादा चला के बताने की जरूरत नहीं है।
मैं आप दोनों को रोक रहा हूं 1 मिनट के लिए। अब हम चलते हैं संजय सिंह के पास टू गेट मोर। संजय सिंह जॉइन मी। संजय जी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। संजय जी ये बताइए किस तरह से ये आप देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि केवल समन्स इशू हुए हैं, अभी से आप कह रहे हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी अरेस्ट होंगे, साजिश है। ये जो केस है जिसमें डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर भी अरेस्ट हुए हैं, स्वाभाविक है, एक तरह से नॉर्मल है कि चीफ मिनिस्टर को भी क्वेश्चन किया जाएगा।
नहीं, आप सबको क्वेश्चन करिए, उससे सवाल नहीं है। सवाल क्या है? इस समय इस देश में एक महा घोटाला, एक बड़ा घोटाला, एक भ्रष्टाचार हुआ जो सीधा सीधा देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी से जुड़ा हुआ है। और उस घोटाले का सच, उस भ्रष्टाचार का सच दिल्ली की विधानसभा में केजरीवाल जी ने उजागर किया कि लाखों करोड़ का काला धन अडानी की कंपनी में जो लगा है, दरअसल वो नरेंद्र मोदी का पैसा है। अपनी राजनीतिक सत्ता को बचाने के लिए उन्होंने आर्थिक सत्ता संजय जी हाउ कैन यू यूज दिल्ली लेकर आप यानी कि अपने को दिलाया, ये सारा सच उन्होंने दिल्ली विधानसभा में उजागर किया। इसके
अलग मामला है ना, उसका और इसका क्या कनेक्शन? कैसे
अलग मामला है? बिल्कुल, जैसे ही विधानसभा में बोलते हैं अब ये कार्रवाई हो रही है केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ, कैसे अलग मामला है? जो इनके खिलाफ बोलता है उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होती है। अरविंद केजरीवाल से इनको डर लगता है, उनकी बढ़ती लोकप्रियता से। एक ही आदमी है जो शिक्षा पे, बिजली पे, पानी पे, स्वास्थ्य पे काम कर रहा है। कह रहे हैं ये तो इनका काम ज्यादा पॉपुलर होता जाएगा, पंजाब जीत गए, पूरे देश में जीत जाएंगे, रोको इनको।
नहीं, आप कह रहे हैं
भ्रष्टाचार के
आप कह रहे हैं ये पॉलिटिकल साजिश है।
नरेंद्र मोदी के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ केजरीवाल ने जो बोला उसके खिलाफ, उसके वजह से कार्रवाई हो रही है।
नहीं, अरविंद केजरीवाल ने असेंबली में कहा कि गौतम अडानी का पैसा नरेंद्र मोदी जी का पैसा है, लेकिन ये भी प्रूव करना पड़ेगा ना। ये कोई आप कोई भी आरोप लगा सकते हैं, एंड में आपको प्रूव करना पड़ेगा कि वाकई ये सच्चाई है। यहां सीबीआई कह रही है, सीबीआई और ईडी कह रहे हैं कि उनके पास मेल ट्रेल है, उनके पास विटनेसेस हैं।
6 एयरपोर्ट आपने एक ही आदमी को दे दिया नियम बदल के। कोयला की खदानें सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बावजूद पार्लियामेंट में पास एक्ट के खिलाफ आपने जाके अडानी को दे दिया। सी पोर्ट दे दिया आपने, उसको सड़क दे दिया, बिजली दे दिया, पानी दे दिया, सब कुछ दे दिया उसको। दुनिया में अलग अलग देशों में ठेका दिलवा रहे हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, बांग्लादेश में, श्रीलंका में।
हाँ, लेकिन सर अगर आप कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ संजय सिंह जी,
उनका भ्रष्टाचार,
संजय सिंह जी, अगर आप कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में गए और कहा कि देखिए हमारे मुख्यमंत्री बेकसूर है क्योंकि असली करप्शन कहीं और हुआ है, वो कोई डिफेंस तो नहीं होता ना। आपको ये दिखाना पड़ेगा कि ये पूरा जो दिल्ली लिकर गेट स्टोरी जो बन रही है वो वाकई एक तरह से सीबीआई ने बनाई है।
आप बताइए राजदीप जी क्या है? नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूं आपसे, आप बताइए क्या है? 14 फोन तोड़ दिया मनीष सिसोदिया ने, आपने भी खबर चलाई थी अपने टीवी चैनल पे। आज मैंने वो सारे फोन के डिटेल्स आपके सामने रखे, मीडिया के सामने रखे कि 5 फोन खुद ईडी के सीजर रिपोर्ट में है, जो ईडी के फोन में है, जो उनके कस्टडी में जो फोन है 5 फोन, उसको भी वो कह रहे हैं मनीष सिसोदिया ने तोड़ दिया। आप बताइए 14 के 14 फोन जिंदा है, बाकी फोन काम कर रहे हैं, 5 फोन ईडी के पास है, कह रहे 14 फोन तोड़ दिया मनीष सिसोदिया ने, एविडेंस मिटा दिया, चंदन रेड्डी के कान का पर्दा फाड़ दिया, जबरन उससे बयान लिया, हाईकोर्ट में उसने रिट किया है, समीर महेंद्रू ने कोर्ट में लिख के दिया कि बयान फर्जी है, राघव रेड्डी ने कहा हमारे ऊपर जबरन दबाव बनाया जा रहा है कि पॉलिटिकल लोगों के नाम लो। यह है ईडी की जांच? बताइए आप, मेरे खिलाफ 164 में न्यायालय में दिनेश अरोड़ा ने कोई बयान नहीं दिया, मेरे खिलाफ कोई बयान उसने ईडी के सामने नहीं दिया। ईडी चार्जशीट दाखिल कर रही है, मेरा नाम जोड़ रही है। ये है सब शराब घोटाले की जांच। बताइए आप राजदीप जी।
पर ये सब अगर आप
तो इसलिए
नहीं संजय सिंह जी, ये सब आप
कहानियां हैं
सर, ये
मनोहर कहानियां चलती रहेंगी
सर। अभी जो आपने मुझे कहा, ये आप कोर्ट में जाकर कह सकते हैं, ये आप कोर्ट में कह सकते हैं कि ये पूरी साजिश है और कोर्ट निर्णय करे। अगर आपको लगता है कि जज भी इसमें मिले हुए हैं,
कहा डिफेमेशन का मुकदमा करूंगा, बिल्कुल कहा मैंने कहा एसके मिश्रा और जो भी अधिकारी हैं उनके खिलाफ डिफेमेशन करेंगे। मैंने तो कहा कोर्ट तो जाएंगे ही जाएंगे। आप झूठ मूठ का बदनाम करेंगे लोगों को तो कोर्ट। 14 फोन मनीष सिसोदिया ने तोड़ दिए, ऐसा प्रचार किया गया, टीवी चैनल्स पे खबर चलाई गई। 5 फोन खुद ईडी के पास सीज है। तो उस घोटाला और उसकी ईडी की जो जांच है वो तो एक झूठ का पुलिंदा है, इसके अलावा कुछ नहीं। असली मुद्दा है मोदी अडानी घोटाला।
नहीं, जब आप बार बार कहते हैं
अपने दोस्त के साथ
संजय सिंह जी,
लाखों करोड़ का घोटाला किया,
संजय सिंह जी, जब आप,
मैं कह रहा हूं 19 पार्टियां कह रही है राजदीप जी, 19 पार्टियां कह रही है जेपीसी बनाओ। मोदी जी ने कुछ गलत नहीं किया तो जेपीसी से क्यों भाग रहे हैं? जांच क्यों नहीं करा रहे हैं? अगर उन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार नहीं किया तो 19 पार्टियां डिमांड कर रही है, पूरा संसद नहीं चलने पाया सत्र पर। आप बताइए, ये मैं कह रहा हूं अकेले?
लेकिन फिर भी मैं एक सवाल पूछूंगा। जब आज आपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस की, आपने कहा या आपके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ने कहा कि आप समझते हैं कि केजरीवाल जी को संडे को अरेस्ट किया जाएगा, क्या आपको वाकई लगता है कि ये सरकार जो है केजरीवाल जी को अरेस्ट करेगी इस मामले में, या ये भी कहीं ना कहीं राजनीतिक आपकी ये राजनीतिक सहानुभूति जताने के लिए कह रहे हैं आप?
राजदीप जी, आश्चर्य मत कीजिएगा जब विपक्ष के नेताओं को चौराहे पे खड़ा करके गोली मारा जाएगा। मैं तो यहां तक कह रहा हूं, उस दिन के लिए भी आश्चर्य मत कीजिएगा जब विपक्ष के नेताओं को चौराहे पे खड़ा करके गोली मार दिया जाएगा। मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, इसलिए आप गिरफ्तारी तो बहुत छोटी चीज है, वो 16 तारीख को नहीं, आज भी रात में कर सकते हैं, वो छोड़ दीजिए आप। मैं तो उस दिन का भी इंतजार कर रहा हूं कि कभी ऐसा भी वक्त आ सकता है अगर लोग आवाज नहीं उठाए और बोले नहीं कि विपक्ष के नेताओं को चौराहे पे गोली मार देंगे लोग
जी।
ये चल रहा है इस देश में राजदीप जी।
ठीक है,
किसी को भी पकड़ के जेल में डाल दो, किसी को भी पकड़ के फर्जी मुकदमे लगा दो, किसी को भी पकड़ के बदनाम कर दो।
संजय जी, हम
और जो इनके साथ चले जाते हैं, हेमंत विश्व शर्मा
संडे तक
वाटर घोटाले की बुकलेट जारी करते हैं, उसको मुख्यमंत्री बना देते हैं। येदियुरप्पा को माइनिंग घोटाले में बाहर करते हैं, फिर मुख्यमंत्री बना देते हैं। अजीत पवार पे चक्की पिसिंग कहते हैं, फिर सुबह 6:30 बजे उसके साथ शपथ ले लेते हैं। मुकुल राय, शुभेंदु अधिकारी शारदा स्कैम में फंसते हैं, इनकी पार्टी में आ गए, पाक साफ हो गए।
चलिए
बात करेंगे इस पार्टी,
चलिए इन सब ये मामला ये राजनीतिक मामला एक तरह से
प्रधानमंत्री
चलता रहेगा। आपने बात की संजय सिंह जी, आपने अपनी बात रखी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। वी विल कैरी फॉरवर्ड दिस स्पेशल कवरेज on the fallout of summoning of the Delhi Chief Minister. The political temperature is hotting up. We need to take a break. Back in a moment.
You are watching India Today.
It is tech giant Apple's big India bite. Apple is all set to open 2 retail stores in the country. The first retail store in India, scheduled to come up in Mumbai at Geo World Drive, will throw open its door to consumers on April 18. Apple CEO Tim Cook is expected to attend the launch of the Mumbai store.
The store is located here in the newest mall of the city, the Geo World Drive. The barricades have already gone up with their vibrant colors, and the theme of the store seems to be inspired by the cabs of the city, the Kali Pilis.
The second store in Saket, Delhi, will open on April 20. Apple Retail will help consolidate the tech giant's position further in India. Until now, Apple has sold iPhones and other products in the country mostly through resellers, e-commerce websites and large format retail chains. The move isn't surprising given Chief Executive Tim Cook in February called India a major focus for Apple. Apple has been on a steady expansion in India. Its share in the smartphone market is projected to grow from 1% in 2019 to 5% in 2023. It is no secret that Apple has been growing its manufacturing base in India. Making iPhones and then selling them in India ensures a smooth supply chain. India is at forefront of Apple's effort to decouple from China's factory floor. Apple Inc. partner Foxconn Technology Group also plans to invest about $700 million on a new plant in India, underscoring an accelerating shift of manufacturing away from China. It's clear that Apple's playbook is evolving as India emerges as hub not just for manufacturing but also demand. With Rachna Dhanrajani, Bureau Report, India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
Justice, liberty, equality, the pillars that built India. A nation where everyone has dignity and opportunities to prosper. But today, over 75 years after independence, Dalits remain a community trapped for centuries by the caste system, languishing in a dismal state. Nearly 20% of India's population is Dalit. Dalits still live in abject poverty, excluded on the margins, facing atrocities, toxic untouchability, and no opportunities for economic upliftment. The father of India's constitution, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, fought all his life for the upliftment of Dalits. In the past, many state and central governments have made big promises, but it has been nothing more than lip service. Basic human rights have still not been delivered. Dalits remain downtrodden and discriminated against. This shocking reality is a national shame. Few have dared to break the cage of caste discrimination until now. Friend to the downtrodden, upholding human rights and dignity, championing Ambedkar's India, KCR is showing India and the world. Our revolution is sparked in Telangana through his path-breaking scheme, Telangana Dalit Bandhu. Approximately 17,50,000 Dalit families call Telangana home. And now they are calling Telangana the land of opportunity. Thanks to Dalit Bandhu, launched in 2021 by the TRS government, a world-first scheme which will give each Dalit family an astounding financial boost of 10 lakh rupees. There are many more schemes along with this which are under implementation all over the state. But Dalit Bandhu is a specially designed program for the upliftment of the Dalit community. It has an unprecedented objective to uplift 17,50,000 Dalit households with a one-time capital grant of 10 lakh rupees per household, 100% subsidy with zero repayment, delivered via direct-to-beneficiary transfer, with a dedicated Dalit Bandhu scheme help desk and monitoring committee at village, mandal, district and state level, and a 10% reservation for Dalits in profit-generating schemes, government contracts and licenses. In addition to this, Telangana has another visionary program for Dalit students, residential schools and colleges, and Ambedkar Overseas Vidya Nidhi, a 20 lakh rupees overseas scholarship, giving them the most powerful tool for success, education. Huzurabad, 2021. the Telangana Dalit Bandhu pilot was launched. Telangana's Dalit Bandhu is a path-breaking scheme that places absolute trust in the beneficiary. Each household has complete freedom and flexibility to decide its business and how to grow their dreams.
నేను వచ్చేసి ఫార్మసీ చదివాను సార్. దాని తర్వాత యాజ్ ఏ ఫార్మసిస్ట్గా చాలా ప్లేస్లో చేశాను సార్. ఎప్పుడైతే మన తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ ఈ దళిత బంధు పెట్టిందో అప్పుడు ఇంకా నాకు ఎప్పటి నుంచో నా ఓన్గా బిజినెస్ పెట్టుకున్నామని నాకు అంతకుముందే ఉండేది సార్. మన టీఆర్ఎస్ గవర్నమెంట్ దళిత బంధు స్కీమ్ ఒకటి పెట్టి నా ఓన్గా నేను సెటిల్ కావడానికి ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ క్రియేట్ చేసింది సార్.
Households were identified as beneficiaries and the direct benefit transfer of 10 lakh rupees was made. Each family unit was free to decide how they wished to invest this 100% subsidy. It could be a single or multiple businesses. Multiple beneficiaries could pool their resources to build a bigger business. It could be in any sector of their choice. The sky was the limit. In no time, the stories of transformation began rolling in. These are just a small fraction of the 40,000 success stories that Telangana has empowered through the Dalit Bandhu scheme. In just 1 year, it has smashed records for any Dalit upliftment scheme in the country. Till date, the Dalit Bandhu scheme has been implemented in all 119 assembly constituencies in Telangana. Beneficiaries have achieved prosperity for their families. They have also created opportunity for their community by providing employment and revenue. The resounding success of the Dalit Bandhu scheme has energized the TRS government to accelerate its efforts. From 40,000 beneficiaries with an outlay of 4,441.8 crore rupees, now Telangana government has raised the Dalit Bandhu budget to reach about 2 lakh beneficiaries with an outlay of 17,700 crore rupees, making this the world's largest direct benefit scheme.
దళిత బంధు వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఈ 10 లక్షలు అనేది మామూలుగా అందరికీ ఆపర్చునిటీ రాదు. ఇది పూర్తిగా గవర్నమెంట్ వాళ్ళు మాకు 10 లక్షలు ఇచ్చేసి మీ ఇష్టం ఉన్న వ్యాపారాన్ని పెట్టుకో అని చెప్పేసి అనడం వల్ల మాకు ఇంత ఆర్థిక పురోగతి కలిగింది. అదే కాకుండా మేము ఇంతకుముందు ఒక దగ్గర వర్కర్గా పనిచేసిన వాళ్ళం ఇప్పుడు ఓనర్గా ఉండగలుగుతున్నాం.
Never before has such a revolutionary scheme been designed to end caste discrimination, where Dalits receive 100% opportunity along with 100% dignity.
దళిత బంధు పథకం రాకముందు మేమైతే చాలా స్ట్రగుల్స్ ఫేస్ చేసాం. దళిత బంధు పథకం కింద మేము ఈ ఎంబ్రాయిడరీ మిషన్ ఎంచుకొని పెట్టుకున్నాము. నేర్చుకున్న వరకునే నేను ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేయాలనుకొని ఈ ఎంబ్రాయిడరీ స్టార్ట్ చేశాను సార్. ఇచ్చినందుకు చాలా చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు కేసీఆర్ గారికి, తెలంగాణ ప్రభుత్వానికి కూడా మేము ఎంతో రుణపడి ఉన్నాము.
ముగ్గురం కలిసి ఒక యూనిట్ పెట్టాము. అంటే 30 lakhs పెట్టి ఒక వెహికల్ను ఇప్పుడు అమెరికన్ టూరిస్ట్ షాప్ పెట్టాము. బాగానే నడుస్తుంది ఇప్పుడైతే. అంటే నేను జాబ్ చేసేవాడిని, ఇప్పుడు ఓనర్గా అంటే ఒక కంపెనీ ఓనర్గా ఇప్పుడు ఫీల్ అవుతున్నా. చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది.
జీవనోపాధిగా మిషన్ కుట్టుకుంటూ బ్రతికేదాన్ని సార్. మాకు 3 పిల్లలు, వాళ్ళని చదివించుకుంటూ మేము బ్రతకాలంటే చాలా కష్టమైంది సార్. ఇప్పుడు దళిత బంధు ద్వారా కేసీఆర్ గారు ఆదుకున్నారు సార్. వాళ్ళు ఇద్దరం కలిసి పెట్టుకున్నాం సార్ మిషన్. కోయంబత్తూరు నుంచి వెళ్ళి తెప్పించుకున్నాం సార్ మిషన్ను. నాన్ ఓవెన్ బ్యాగ్స్ సార్. మాకు నెలకు 50,000 వరకు వస్తాయి సార్. 3 జీతాలు 50,000 వరకు వస్తాయి సార్.
For Telangana's leadership, it's not about breaking records, but about ensuring financial freedom for all. Each Dalit Bandhu grant of 10 lakh rupees has an inbuilt 10,000 rupees safety net, Dalita Rakshana Nidhi, to ensure that all Dalit families get financial assistance from the fund at times of distress. To further strengthen this, Telangana government contributes additional 10,000 rupees, which is over and above each grant. A great safety net that has no parallel anywhere in the world. For the KCR government, this is more than just a financial benefit. If any beneficiary of Dalit Bandhu meets with fatal disease or accident, the family should not go through additional depression and hard times. They should remain protected. That is the true purpose of the special safety net designed as Dalita Rakshana Nidhi.
కేసీఆర్ సార్ ఇంత పెద్ద స్కీమ్ తీసుకురావడం అనేది చాలా గొప్ప విషయం సార్. మాలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఓన్గా ఒక కంపెనీ పెట్టి ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ కావాలనుకునే వాళ్ళ కోసం ఇది గోల్డెన్ ఆపర్చునిటీ.
అదే కాకుండా దళితులు అంటే సమాజంలో అందరికీ చిన్న చూపుగానే ఉంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఇది ఇవ్వడం వల్ల
సారు దళిత బంధు ఇచ్చి మమ్మల్ని ఎంతో ఆదుకున్నారు సారు. మాకు మరో అంబేద్కర్ గారు సారు మాకైతే మాటల్లో చెప్పలేము. ఆయనకు మాకు ఎంతో బతుకునిచ్చిండ్రు అసలు.
Under the fearless leadership of KCR, Dalits finally have a government that protects and defends them. Telangana inspires them to overcome oppression and empowers them to be bold so that each Dalit can move up in the world with head held high, creating their own success story, making Telangana shine and, in turn, India.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Macho Hind, Bade Aaram Se.
The all-new Hyundai Verna, futuristic, ferocious. XP100, India's first 100-octane premium petrol.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. With less than a month to go for the big Karnataka polling day, which stock is on the rise and whose fortunes are crashing in the Karnataka political exchange? That's my top focus on the news track.
Karnataka Political League hots up. Whose political stock is up? Whose popularity is sliding? The biggest mood tracker. Who is winning Karnataka? Big focus on News Track.
The Karnataka Political League is heading into the middle overs with the BJP and the Congress declaring a majority of their candidates. There have been tears, anguish and departures. Today, former Deputy CM Lakshman Sawadi jumped ship from the BJP to the Congress after being denied a ticket. Here's all the latest on the Nataka from Karnataka. And when I come back, I'll have some of the sharpest political minds, pundits, psephologists who are tracking this Karnataka election very closely. And we'll look at who seems to have the winning momentum, who's struggling at this juncture in the Karnataka Political League.
The BJP is battling revolts, something it is not used to in recent times. Leaders denied tickets by the BJP are openly lashing out at the top brass.
ಭ್ರಷ್ಟ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಹಣೆಪಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ 40% ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತು ಜಗಜ್ಜಾಹೀರಾಗಿದೆ.
Amid the discontent, dissent and anger, former Deputy CM Lakshman Sawadi has joined the Congress. The first confirmation of the cross-party switch came from leader of opposition Siddaramaiah earlier in the day.
Chanakya University say 100% authenticate will be given to Saudi. He is contesting on Congress ticket.
The official induction happened a few hours later. The BJP is fuming.
यही मैं कहूँगा भाजपा ने सब कुछ दिया. जिस व्यक्ति को डिप्टी सीएम भी दिया कोर कमेटी में हारने के बाद कोर कमेटी में लिया है, एमएलसी बनाया, उनको ऐसा निर्णय नहीं करना चाहिए था. इस ऐसे निर्णय करने से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं को कष्ट होता है.
Sawadi, who made headlines in 2012 for watching porn in the assembly, will now contest the 2023 elections from Athani on a Congress ticket. Sawadi will face BJP's Mahesh Kummathalli, who had switched from Congress to BJP after the 2018 state polls. The BJP is yet to announce its candidate from Shivamoga, where it is fighting rebellion. On Thursday, K.S. Ishwarappa's son Kantesh met B.S. Yediyurappa at his residence, fueling speculation that Ishwarappa's son may be in the reckoning for his father's seat. Former Karnataka CM Jagdish Shettar was also not included in the second list. Yediyurappa has expressed confidence that Shettar will be given a ticket to contest polls.
99% Jagdish Shettar ji will be given ticket. He is in Delhi only. Most probably that name will be cleared in Hubli city.
The suspense on the candidature of Shettar and Ishwarappa has cast a cloud on the BJP's election campaign.
Congress also believe that with Lakshman Saudhi's entry to Congress, they can restore the lost glory in Belagavi district of Karnataka. With Nagarjun Sagairaj reporting for India Today, Bengaluru.
So what is the state of play in Battle Royale Karnataka at this juncture? Where does the political stock exchange of Karnataka stand? Joining us for perspective, I want to welcome first in our studios Yashwant Deshmukh, lead cephalogist at C-Voter. Yashwant, welcome. He's been running a tracker poll in the state of Karnataka. He'll give us his sense of where he thinks things stand. With us is Rahul Verma, fellow at the Center for Policy Research. No one understands Karnataka in quite the way that Dr. Sandeep Shastri does, political scientist, national coordinator at Lokniti. With us is my colleague, Rajdeep Sardesai. He's itching to get into the battlefield himself and has been tracking many a Karnataka election. So I want to go across first to the election intelligence dashboard. This in fact is where we are, this is the launch of the election intelligence dashboard in some ways for Karnataka. And I want to give you a sense of where things stand at this moment in Karnataka as we get set for the most crucial phase of the polling. Largely, seats have now been allocated, although some headache still remains for both parties and the JDS as well. But this is where the starting line is. The BJP with 104, the Congress at 80, the JDS at 37. And there's lots of granularity that we'll be bringing out on the show with the cephalogist. And one of the crucial things that's coming out is that the number of seats, Yashwant, where the battles are getting tighter between the number one winner and the runner-up is much more than it has been in the elections going back to the 80s. What that suggests really is that because of smaller parties, because of independent candidates, the battle in Karnataka is getting closer than ever before in more seats than previously.
One of the reasons, Rahul, is that, if you look across this thing, these, as you can say, marginal seats or battleground seats, they are not just restricted to any one particular region. And as we know, that is the, up north is the Lingayat territory, up down, south down is the Vokaliga territory and like that. But there are almost about 50 odd seats still in Karnataka where none of these, big groups actually form a winning majority of sort of equation. And it is that kind of a gray area or gray zone, as you may call it, where in every region you have got one or the two seats. In totality, that number gets down to almost like 50. And that is going to be critical because I believe that it's been too long, way too long, Rahul, that we have seen or we have analyzed Karnataka only from the binocular of Lingayat and Vokaligas. But it is the OBC category, the middle ground, that swing vote, which actually forms the big chunk over there. And one thing which I want to share with our viewers over here, every time we talk about the caste equations, we generally somehow end up discussing Lingayat in the range of 17-18%. But in the random probability surveys as well, and as well as the caste census of Karnataka, which happened in the last elections, government, Lingayat was somewhere around 13 or 14%. So the overall, it could be because of many factors and many territories. But the thing is, there are seats and there are battles which go beyond calculations of Lingayat and Vokaliga.
Now if you see the number of seats where the winner has changed in every election in the last 3 elections is 165 out of 224. What that means is almost 2/3 of the seats are seats where you can see a change in the winner and the loser. The Congress in the last 3 elections has got about 27 stronghold seats. They are seats that the Congress can relatively be comfortable about. They hope that these are seats that they can repeat. The BJP has about 22, and it is the Janata Dal Secular which has about 10 stronghold seats, seats that they've won in every election for the last 3 elections. I want to show you where the pollsters stand at this moment to give you a sense of what's coming out in different polls. Yashwant put out his last poll where he seems to think the Congress is likely to get a majority. The BJP he predicts between 68 and 80, the Congress between 115 to 127. Then there is Metri's, which says that the BJP is ahead, but it's essentially a tight fight. And then there's something called People's Pulse, which again is predicting a dead heat. So what is it, Yashwant, that you're picking up which the other pollsters aren't, where you seem to think the Congress is quite decisively in the lead in Karnataka?
Well, number one thing is the sentiment for change, Rahul. You know, I mean, we do ask the question, are you upset with this government? And we give that option that, okay, I am upset and I wish to change. I am upset, but I don't wish to change. And I am not upset and I want to continue. In the case of Uttar Pradesh, for example, there was a significant number of people who said they were upset, but they don't wish to change. And that is why in UP we were very clear that BJP, even they might have a loss of between 15 to 70 seats, but still they will get back to power because people are kind of angry, but they do not wish to change. In case of Karnataka, somehow we are getting almost like 57% people saying that they are looking for a change. Now, when the people, it's a kind of a thing, you know, when you get in the data or in the public emotion, they are looking for a change, you know, that becomes more and more decisive or clear as and when the election dates start coming near. Now 57% is a big number, and arguably everybody would understand that, okay, there is a triangular fight, so there is a JDS at play as well to split the anti-incumbency vote, if one may so. But the thing is, JDS is such a regional player in Karnataka that its entire plan is pretty much limited only and only to South.
Remember, if you look at the JDS's vote share, they're picking up more and more votes in lesser and lesser seats. So their geographic spread, election after election, is actually coming down. Rajdeep, your thoughts? You've got Yashwant here saying that the Congress decisively in the lead. He actually anticipates that as we come closer to polling day, the Congress's margin over the BJP will actually grow, because in his survey, people are suggesting a very strong desire for change.
You know, Rahul, Karnataka is one of those states where I would hesitate to stick my neck out, simply because if you look at the last 5 elections, 3 have thrown up hung assemblies and the margins are very low, and Karnataka is a very strange state. Last time, you will recall, Congress actually got higher vote percentage than the BJP, but the BJP actually got more seats. In fact, it's one of the few states where our exit poll also went slightly awry as a result. And in Karnataka, because the caste equations vary so sharply from region to region, Mumbai, Karnataka's politics is very different to that of old Mysore. And I believe these are the 2 critical regions that will decide Karnataka. Very difficult to predict. The one thing one can say, and I think Yashwant's numbers suggest that, is that there is anti-incumbency. You know, there is more than the usual normal anti-incumbency this time in Karnataka. The question, therefore, is it sufficient to push the Congress over that 112 mark to a majority, or does the Congress remain single largest and just short of the majority? I think these are the 2 scenarios which I see at the moment in Karnataka. Either the Congress takes full advantage of anti-incumbency and crosses halfway mark, or gets the benefit of anti-incumbency, but because it is an unusually triangular state, with very strong localized factors and very strong inter-regional disparities, does Karnataka once again throw a hung assembly? So I think these are the factors to look at. And I think old Mysore, where the JDS got 29 out of the 66 seats last time, and the Lingayat belt of Mumbai, Karnataka, where the BJP got 30 of the 48 seats, will decide. If the BJP erodes substantially in Mumbai, Karnataka, as they did in 2013, but remember in 2013, Yediyurappa had rebelled against the BJP or been thrown out of the party, and old Mysore, where the JDS Could that shrink? I think that will decide what happens in Karnataka, but strongly localized. You just look at the churning that's taking place even in the candidate list. The moment someone doesn't get a ticket from either the BJP or the Congress, they're happy to switch sides or contest as strong independents. Now, that doesn't happen in too many other states. Karnataka is a very, very difficult state, therefore, to predict. Yes, advantage Congress, as Yashwant's poll says, but is the advantage big enough for the Congress to get a majority is the big question mark.
GVL Narasimha Rao is with us, hopefully in his capacity as a cephalogist, not so much as a member of parliament of the BJP. GVL, if we look at the data suggests that the BJP is in for a rough ride in Karnataka. For one, the polls are suggesting that there is a high level of anti-incumbency. What goes in your favor is that you have a formidable election fighting machine. However, conversely, once voters start expressing frustration in polls, Yashwant Deshmukh argues as you come closer to the polling day, the advantage in the favor of the opponent against the government actually starts increasing. Would that then suggest that the BJP is in for a rough ride on the 13th of May?
Certainly, I think you cannot go by conventional wisdom, Rahul, because conventional wisdom often gets you wrong. Because the BJP has been in government for 5 years, because we had not obtained a majority in the last election or in any election before. So pollsters would tend to err on the side of caution. Therefore, they would. I think Congress always looks like a formidable party in Karnataka because they have presence in all regions of the state. As Rajdeep mentioned, in the last election also, the Congress polled 2%, almost 2 percentage points more than the BJP, but secured 24 less seats. And that happens all the time. This was not a fluke election. This was not a election that's not out of the ordinary. This is how elections happen. And when you win on a 37% of a vote base, because that's the vote share for the BJP, and we've been winning almost a majority with that kind of percentage. So you will always have a majority of the people who will not be happy with you from the day one of your government. At any given time, about 60% of the people in Karnataka would want an alternate government and not the BJP. So 57% or 55% saying we want a change of government doesn't sound new at all. What you have to do is we have to retain our vote share and penetrate areas where we have not been able to ensure victories. For us, getting a majority is our target, not to emerge as a single largest party that we anyway are going to be without a doubt.
You know, the most important thing that GVL Narasimha Rao just said is that the BJP needs to expand beyond where it's already well entrenched, and that is primarily the area of Old Mysore. And I want to put that data out on your screen right now, and what you will see is where the BJP stood in 2018, which is when the last assembly elections happened over there, and what happened in 2019, which is when the Modi mania helped the BJP win even in Old Mysore. So the BJP had only about 18% of the vote share in Old Mysore in 2018. They more than doubled that to 39.6 in the Lok Sabha elections of 2019. The Congress was at 34, it crashed to 23.6. The JDS was at 37, that came down to 21.7. So essentially, Rahul Verma, if the BJP is able to do somewhere as well as they did in 2019, even if it's not exactly as well, but roughly in that region, and the JDS's vote share and tally crashes in the way it did between 18 and 19, then some of what GVL Narasimha Rao is saying on the show makes sense. But that was the Modi election, that was a national election. This is much more a local state election. But in that sense, Old Mysore then becomes key to whether what GVL is saying is backed by rationale or it's just bluster.
Thank you, Rahul. You're absolutely right. See, couple of points. First, in Karnataka, the reason BJP scores higher in number of seats, even with lesser vote share, is because of this disproportionality. In the old Mysuru region, BJP does really badly in terms of vote share and seat share, and that's the difference which we always see in the votes. Second point, can BJP, so for old Mysuru to become the key of this election, BJP will have to hold on to its performance in the coastal Karnataka, in the Bombay Karnataka, and in the central Karnataka region. If BJP, as Yashwant pointed out, if BJP is facing anti-incumbency in all other parts of the state, then old Mysuru, even if it penetrates, is not going to help. Third, in 2019, yes, Congress-JDS alliance created an opportunity for BJP to enter in the old Mysuru region, and Prime Minister being on the ticket, it pulled up BJP's vote share in the old Mysuru region. But even then, if BJP's vote share in the state was 51%, in old Mysuru region, which you just pointed out, was just 31%, right? So even with Prime Minister Modi on the ticket, BJP's penetration in old Mysuru region remains incomplete. All 3 seats, or 2 seats at least, which went to Congress and JDS, Mysuru and Hassan, not Mysuru, sorry, Bangalore rural and Hassan. Those 2 seats are in old Mysuru region, right? And Mandya went to an independent who was supported by BJP. So old Mysuru still remains a sort of an Achilles heel for the BJP. And I don't think old Mysuru alone can change the game if BJP doesn't manage to hold on to
it has to hold on to its other regions and do well here. Then it has a chance of increasing its footprint. In fact, what the BJP is doing, and Sandeep Shastri can talk a bit about it, is increasing the number of Vokaligas who are getting seats. Now, if you look at the seats that have been distributed so far, the BJP has given out 1,212 seats. The Congress has given out 166 seats so far. Out of this, the BJP has 43 Vokaligas, the Congress has 29, the BJP has 52 Lingayats, and the Congress has 43. But the fact that the BJP is putting up 43 Vokaliga candidates suggests, Sandeep Shastri, that they think that they've been able to penetrate old Mysore enough to be able to challenge the Congress and the JDS over there. If not, if they just make marginal gains over the last assembly elections in old Mysore, then it is actually advantage Congress. And I'll just explain that to our viewers. Think of it this way, that you've got essentially in old Mysore, the Congress and the JDS close to each other. If the BJP comes up just marginally, the Congress largely holds on to its vote share, but it's the JDS's vote share which goes down. As the JDS's vote share goes down, the Congress's chances of winning actually increase. Therefore, the BJP doesn't have to go up just marginally, it has to go up enough to be able to push both the Congress and the JDS down. So this is, do you think this is based on some strong rationale that they've actually penetrated old Mysore enough to be able to trounce the JDS and the Congress? Or do you think this piece of strategy could potentially backfire and prove costly on the 13th of May?
Rahul, after listening to what my colleagues on the panel have said, I'd like to make 4 points to your question. Number 1, no party has been able to get a majority in Karnataka if they do not do well in the old Mysore region and the Mumbai Karnataka region. This has been empirically proved in the previous elections. And if the BJP fell short of a majority in 2008 and 2018, a lot of it had to do with the old Mysore region, and therefore the increasing focus on the old Mysore region by the BJP. Point number 2, yes, there has been an increase in the number of Vokaliga candidates, but if you compare it with the candidate list of the BJP of the previous election, last time also they fielded a large number of the Vokaliga candidates. It's just that they did not win those seats. So merely the presence of Vokaliga candidates in large numbers this time is not an indicator of what is likely to happen. It's more or less the same number of Vokaliga candidates who have stood last time and this time. I think there is another point, Rahul, we need to keep in mind, which Yashwant raised. I am now actually in Mysore and going around the state. One sentiment I am hearing among BJP supporters also is, we are for Mr. Modi, we will vote for the BJP next year when we have a Lok Sabha election, but this time around, the unhappiness with the state BJP government is patently visible. And even many strong supporters of the BJP are saying that this time it looks to be a little different. While I also thirdly agree with Yashwant that maybe the Lingayat and Vakaliga factor, their percentages are not what they are projected to be. But I would add, Yashwant, the fact that since 1956, in every assembly in Karnataka, the Vakaligas and Lingayat legislators have been a majority. They have always been more than 112 of the legislators in the state. And it's for that reason that these two communities are referred to in important ways as the dominant caste.
Nail on the head. And GVL has his hand up. I'm coming back to you in just a moment. Before we lose the track of what you said, because GVL is itching to come in on the issue about the Prime Minister. Now, what's very clear, and I want to put this in context, is that Karnataka is not Gujarat. Gujarat is a Hindutva BJP laboratory. Many of the BJP leaders, MLAs, local leaders, are actually imported, sometimes from the JDS, sometimes from the Congress. They're not, many of them are not hardcore BJP walas in the manner in which, say, someone like a Yediyurappa is. The second point is, after the tickets have been allocated in about 24 odd seats, the BJP is facing dissension. Now remember, they sensed some dissension in Gujarat as well when some big leaders had their tickets cut off, but there was a sense of respect, fear, whatever you want to call it, towards the big two in the BJP, and they all backtracked. Here, for example, we saw today one former deputy chief minister just hop across and get a ticket on a Congress party seat. So that wouldn't typically happen in a state like Gujarat. Third, the sense that Sandeep Shastri is saying that even the BJP supporter realizes that this hasn't been an outstanding government. They're not as proud of it in the manner in which voters were in Uttar Pradesh, where they really had a lot of pride around Yogi Adityanath. They're like, okay, next year we'll again come back to the BJP, but this time they themselves aren't so delighted with what you've done, GVL.
Yeah, Rahul, I have gone around parts of Karnataka, and my teams have gone many places. What Sandeep Shastriji mentioned is something that even I have heard of. But there is a catch there. A lot of people who, you see, 36% is our vote share. That is some kind of a ceiling for us. It has been a ceiling for us in the state elections. But come parliament elections, a lot more people vote for the BJP in the name of Prime Minister Modi ji. We've seen how Rajasthan, we were routed in the assembly elections and we won then all the 25 parliament seats. Same story happened in Madhya Pradesh. We barely lost assembly election, but we swept Lok Sabha.
No, but I'm not talking about 2024. None of what we are saying is in the context of the Lok Sabha elections. Abhi ki baat karo na, abhi kya hoga 10th of May ko?
Yes. You see, when you talk to some people who are not inclined, who are not voters of the BJP, continuous voters of the BJP, confirmed supporters of the BJP, they would tell you this story. These, I don't think they fall within the 36% kitty that we continue to get in every election, typically, except the 2008 election, keep that aside. But the remaining neutral voters who vote for Prime Minister in the name of Prime Minister for the BJP in Lok Sabha elections, all of them may not be enthused about the state election.
Okay, let Sandeep Shastri come in on it. You're making a very important point. I'm glad you're speaking like a cephalogist and not as a neta. He's saying from 36 to 51, that extra 15% is the Modi vote. You've been speaking to that 15%. He thinks the 36% is still safe.
I also respect the point which GVLG is making and see the logic of his argument. The fact that the BJP has this, as he would put it, a solid 34% vote. My larger point is that even among those who have been traditional BJP voters, there is some sense of disconnect which is there with the government at the state level, given the nature of performance we have had in the last 3.5 years, and given the fact that especially in the last 4 to 6 months, the agenda setting has been done much more by the Congress and the BJP has been on the back foot, whereas in the first 2.5 years of its rule, it was actually the other way around. And for the BJP, there have been a series of issues which have forced them to go on the back foot, including now the latest stand the Supreme Court has taken on the 4% Muslim reservation. But Rahul, let me make one more point which I wanted to make in my earlier submission.
Yes.
Which is with regard to the Janata Dal. Now, the Janata Dal has always done much better in the assembly elections than in the Lok Sabha elections. This time around, their focus is much more on the old Mysore region. But there again, within the first family of the Janata Dal, there has been a crisis. The two brothers are fighting with each other for a seat for the wives of one of the two brothers. They have resolved it now and wanting to move her to Mysore district. But I'm sure the implications of this are going to be there in terms of the way the party is going to go before the people. Its workers are going to be enthused to be able to get the party support. I think there is going to be a challenge.
I want
For
to make
me,
a
the
point.
real battle is in the old Mysore region, and whether the BJP can really catch on to retain its vote in Mumbai, Karnataka, given the fact that a lot of the rebellion is in that region, I think is an important point to note.
This is the Karnataka Political League, the KPL, but whether it's the IPL or life, luck sometimes matters.
Absolutely.
Yashwant. And the BJP just has had a series of, incidents of bad luck, which, not bad luck, but things which are beyond their control. For example, they actually did, purely from a political perspective, a smart thing by taking reservation away from the minority. I'm not saying I support it. I'm just telling you from an election perspective and giving it 2% to the Vokaligas, 2% to the Lingayats, thinking that this would help both those communities by giving them some extra reservation and taking it away from the minorities. Now, you've got the Supreme Court saying that they're not happy with what's happened, and that kind of puts a brake on it. So whatever benefit could have come from that move then is paused. Similarly, Amul tweeting to say on the 14th of April that they would be entering quick commerce and e-commerce in Karnataka for milk and for curd was never really about a full-fledged Amul entry versus Nandini in Karnataka. That was never the intention, but that's the manner in which the Congress was able to whip it up. And a lot of this data in the margins, in those undecided voters, depends on narratives that parties are able to build. And ordinarily, GVL's party are full of geniuses who are able to build. I'm not suggesting that they do the right thing. I'm just saying that they're able to build the narrative. Is bar balla hi nahi chal raha, they're not being able to do a 5 6s on 5 balls, Rinku Singh. They need a Rinku Singh. Right now, they don't have a Rinku Singh.
I know, but the thing is that somehow I am also sensing the fact that, the changes in the number of Vokaligas, which you just mentioned, the BJP has given significantly bigger number of seats to Vokaligas. I think they have also realized that till the point of time they crack this puzzle of Vokaliga and Southern Territory, they will always be held hostage to the Operation Lotus kind of scenario. So maybe they have kind of thinking along that, okay, we need to think of a long-term, strategy, but to attain that thing, it will be, unfortunately for them, it will boomerang this time, because as you very rightly said, BJP doing good in the Southern Territory will be advantage Congress by default.
You can't just land a punch. If you want to punch, you have to punch so hard that the other guy falls down. Just landing the odd punch doesn't
work
do
that way. It doesn't
anything
work
for the
that way.
BJP.
Yeah.
They have to hit the JDS so hard that they fall. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But Rahul Verma, I want to bring you in on the issue of narratives, which is what GVL touched on. They simply, in Karnataka, haven't been able to middle the ball from the middle of the bat. I mean, it's taking an edge, it's going to slips, it's going to third man, they're trying various things, including taking reservation away from the minorities. It somehow isn't coming together. So the narrative is simply not being built in favor of the BJP in the way that they usually manage to do in other states. How costly could that be in the end?
It's going to definitely cost them. But see, Rahul, this idea of message or narrative is not a standalone thing. It's also linked to a couple of other things, which is basically your machine, your leadership, and all those things, right? So in Karnataka, if you think about all those 4 or 5 factors on which elections are won or lost, BJP is either sort of like in contest with Congress or behind them. BJP does not have any significant better organizational machinery in Karnataka than Congress. It may have in Gujarat or in other parts of the country, but not in Karnataka. Similarly, on the question of leadership at the state level, the strongman Yadurappa is behind the scenes, but Bommai doesn't have that kind of charisma, right? And whereas you have Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar, both have that kind of personality and presence. And third, on the government performance, there has been allegation even by BJP supporters that this government has not doing well. There are allegations of corruption, and so the narrative is actually of a very, very corrupt government. And the social coalition of BJP is also not very large in Karnataka in that sense. So your narrative or agenda setting things will always fall behind if you don't have leadership, if you don't have a machine to basically spread that narrative, and if you don't have a big enough catchment pool. And in Karnataka, on all those factors, BJP is either in sort of competition or is behind, is not far ahead of Congress on any of those things.
You know, the other thing the Congress is usually very good at is scoring self-goals. Somehow, in Karnataka, they've been able to keep the self-goals out. The defense has been tight. For example, Rahul Gandhi was to go to Kolar thrice over. The trip has been postponed. He's in Wayanad and traveling elsewhere. He hasn't come into... If he says something, the Congress GVL is already smiling. He may say something which the BJP can then latch on to. He hasn't really come into Karnataka, so he hasn't had an opportunity to potentially score a goal or say something which the BJP can catch on like he did in London. So therefore, you've got the Congress for once defending tight, which is not usually, that defense is loose and GVL and others can punch one goal after the other. They've kind of kept it tight.
You know, they won Himachal like that. Please try to understand.
Rahul.
See, the best thing Rahul Gandhi could have contributed to the Himachal Pradesh Congress
that
was
not
go there.
He hasn't gone.
And he hasn't gone.
It's been announced thrice that he'll go to Kolar, but he hasn't gone. They've kept him in the pavilion.
So and that's the ironical part of it. And I guess that if Congress feels so, at this point of time, you are saying absolutely bang on that they have held the fort very tight. Only problem would be, you know, the kind of remaining seats and the Siddaramaiah versus D.K. Shivakumar faction that we talk about. If they can get over that, good enough. But then, as we have seen in the case of Congress for significant number of elections, you know, in the recent past, they have this uncanny habit of, you know, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. And that is something which will always keep them on edge.
No, but which is true. But remember, we now have, it's the 14th today, so there's less than a month to go for the polling day, GVL. And as you come closer and closer to the polling day, think of it like cricket. Your asking rate keeps going up. And ultimately, you may be literally left in a situation where you have to hit 5 sixes of 5 balls to be able to win. Rinku Singh did it the other day in the IPL. It's a very difficult thing. If you ask the BJP, when they are winning, they'll tell you that the election by now is cast. Like, it kind of gets settled, it's sealed. It's very difficult, very, very difficult, unless the other guy just, you know, bowls full tosses and is bowling no balls and wides and kind of messing it up. It's very difficult to be able to come back from there, GVL. Who's your Rinku Singh? Kahan hai aapka Rinku Singh?
No, I think whether it's Rinku Singh or the captain, anything, I think we have one leader who does all the jobs. And he's delivered several elections to us. But unlike cricket, elections are not decided in the last 3 weeks. I think many of us tend to believe that election campaigns decide the outcome of elections. Far from it. Elections get decided much earlier. And certainly candidates in assembly elections are an important factor. But I don't think campaigns or what strategies you adopt during campaign change the complexion of an election or outcome is completely, I don't subscribe to that at all. But having said that, Rahul Gandhi's, you see, many of you in the media calculated that Rahul Gandhi's disqualification from Lok Sabha is going to put the Congress on fire. Nothing, Congress needs to do nothing. They will win Karnataka.
Who are you talking about? Now listen, I don't know what channels you're watching, but this is all hawa mein.
People in the media.
So you're watching the wrong channels then. Don't watch all of this. See, when you want to have a sensible conversation, when you want to have a sensible conversation, come to us.
Massive sympathy for Rahul Gandhi.
I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what they're smoking. None of that is true.
But is that not a narrative? Please be honest to yourself. Did you not hear this narrative after disqualification of Rahul Gandhi?
But he's not a factor,
This is a blunder by the BJP.
The smartest thing the Congress is doing is to keep him away from Karnataka. He'll have a marginal presence there. They don't want him to campaign. That's the point I'm making.
Rahul. That doesn't help. It hasn't helped them in Gujarat. Gujarat and Himachal went to polls together.
Sir,
He didn't
Gujarat
go to
is
both the
not
states.
Karnataka. Oh, one second. Now GVL started talking like a politician. Now this I don't like. You are here as a cephalogist. You are comparing Gujarat and Karnataka. You know better than anybody else that the structure that you have, the opponent that you are up against in Gujarat is not comparable. Here is a battle of near equals. Now here's the point I wish to make. The BJP does have a formidable machine, and in the end, Rahul Verma, they'll unleash that machine. There's a minister who's being sent virtually to every district. They'll try and go booth to booth, make it a matter of prestige. But is the gap now just too much to be able to come back from here? GVL, of course, is thinking that you've got Modi. Modi can do what, say, Arinku Singh did, but that may be possible in a Lok Sabha context. Can that still, at this juncture, be possible in an assembly context?
I think that's difficult. We saw that didn't help in Himachal. And GVL in some ways is right that electoral sort of contest is set in motion much before the campaign begins. Of course, that gap, if it's narrow, can be dealt with during the campaign, but you cannot completely overturn an election. And that seems to be likely to the case. That seems to be the case in Karnataka. I don't think, BJP, if it unleashes its machine, its energy, and tries to organize everything, it can make the election a close contest. But can it defeat by winning single-handedly? I think that's a tall order. I don't want to rule that out in elections, and especially an election which is a month away. Anything can happen. But that's a difficult order for BJP now.
But Sandeep Shastri,
and Rahul,
GVL Narasimha Rao, yes, very quickly.
One more thing. I think, BJP, yes, it has organizational presence across the country, and it has a machine that it can unleash in some part of the country. But there are also regions and states in the country where the opposition party's machine is equally strong. And Karnataka seems to be one of those places where Congress machine is strong. So BJP does not have any significant advantage in terms of organization in Karnataka.
Sandeep Shastri, between now and the 10th of May, what do you think could potentially change? The BJP is facing some dissent at this moment, some switchover, so that is kind of anticipated, but will damage them at this moment seemingly on 22 seats, but maybe they'll be able to rescue some of those. What do you think could potentially be the X factors? And that one point that Yashwant made, which is not particularly about Karnataka, but is true largely of all elections, that once there is momentum in favor of a party, as you come closer to the polling day, usually that momentum tends to increase. It's very rare that suddenly the momentum changes once there's momentum that's built in one direction.
Rahul, 3 points on that and made very quickly. Point number 1, Karnataka in the past polls has seen a majority of the voters saying we took a decision on who to vote for much before the campaign started. But in a close race like this one,
how many?
Those who decided the last
one second. What's your sense of the percentage of voters who at this moment are undecided? What's your sense of the percentage of voters who by now have already made up their minds?
If I remember right, across our past polls, we have found 6 out of 10 voters saying we took a decision on who to vote for much before the election was announced. And the remaining 4 of 10 said, some of them said we decided that once the candidates were announced, and the others said a few days before